We pick up where 3.1 left off, with the moon announcing that the winners of the Phantom Moon games will become AHA permanently. The Trailblazer discusses this new development with Himiko and March, but the bystanders overhearing were beginning to crowd around. Himiko tells us to head to the Express to discuss things further, which is when Pearl contacts the Express crew. She states that Full Wish and her media company are running smear campaigns against the Astral Express, turning public opinion against them. On the topic of Full Wish, Himiko believes that the power of abundance she's been using is from a previous Herald of Death. Himiko suggests going to Graphia Academy to do some research on Full Wish and what she's been up to since graduation. We learned she went off-world and studied at a school belonging to the Intelligentsia Guild, and returning to the classroom, the site of the slaughter, we catch a glimpse of the memories of Full Wish's school days. It wasn't long until Full Wish herself appears, taunting the group with her camera crew ready to record any confrontation that may occur. Full Wish goes on a rant, stating that it was AHA who saved her 15 years ago, and that it was outside forces that turned the Phantom Moon games bloody. She finishes her rant stating that she joined the games as a supplicant, and invites the other supplicants to Full Wish TV for publicized debate, instead of relying on bloodshed. The media runs defense for her, and continues to rile the public against the other supplicants. Back on the Express, the Trailblazer intends on accepting her challenge, but not before confirming the Express crew's suspicions. With Sunday MIA, the Trailblazer contacts Sparksy for help on confirming if Full Wish was a masked fool. We switch POVs to Evanesha and Yao Guang, who work together to solve the mystery of why Evanesha turned into a supplicant. Sunday communicates with him and states that Full Wish is a person of interest, and they should make their way to Seafeld City. As they arrive and observe the locals, Yao Guang notices right away that something isn't right. The denizens all have the wheel, the slip for good fortune over their heads. To make matters worse, the power of abundance was strong within them, indicating that the people had all taken happiness surgery. Evanesha realizes that time is not on their side, and tells Yao Guang she must pass judgment on Full Wish for her misdeeds. After guiding Yao Guang to it, Evanesha retrieves the Spirit Branch of True Law, a unique-looking weapon that can judge the actions of supplicants. She learns that Full Wish is not a supplicant, but rather, the supplicant of the Octopus Mask are the citizens of Planet Arcadia themselves, making her judgment impossible. As Evanesha and Yao Guang think of their next move, Blade, Dan Heng, and Ashvale arrive on the scene. Blade states he's come to slay their mutual enemy, the Emanator of Abundance, Shuhu. He reveals that the cells used in the happiness surgery came from Shuhu, and the supplicant was in reality Shuhu himself, using the surgery recipients as a vector. We switch POVs to Sparksy this time, who is fulfilling the Trailblazer's request to find out if Full Wish was a masked fool or not. It is in the infirmary that Sparksy discovers that Full Wish is not only a masked fool, but she has a condition called the happiness syntax. She learns from Zhongshan that Full Wish attempted to destroy her mask, and while she only cracked it, it was enough to leave a rift in the infirmary. Sparksy investigates the rift against Zhongshan's warnings. She witnesses the moment a young Full Wish received her mask. A careless fool delivered it to her, insulting the way she cried on TV, and this was enough to emotionally destroy the young girl. It is then the present version of Full Wish, a piece of her that remained in the mask, attempted to control Sparksy with the happiness syntax. Fortunately, she manages to break free, and confronts Full Wish's simulacrum and emerges victorious. It is there that a foreign object within the mask appears, a warped emoji belonging to the mastermind. She interrogates it for a while, before fleeing the scene. Meanwhile, the Express crew has reconvened on the Astral Express to plan their next steps. Their allies make their own plans, while the crew splits into groups. Welch and March stay behind, while the Trailblazer and Himiko catch up with Ashvale and Sunday at Foolish TV, and take part in the debate. We meet up with Ashvale and Sunday, and Ashvale states that the debate started when they walked in. Sunday gives us a report on the Smile Society, and Foolish springs her trap. She announces on broadcast that a supplicant with the power of harmony is attacking Seafeld City, and using half-truths, she also pinned the blame of the Abundance's influence on the Harmony as well. At the same time, our allies try to turn the tide in the favor of the Express. Evanescence uses the powers she has long locked away by becoming the rule breaker herself, unlocking the authority of arbitration. Pearl and Silverwolf meet up, and Pearl grants her unrestricted network access to discover the truth behind the Joy Ascendants. Pearl offers to overlook the Stellaron Hunter's presence on Planet Arcadia as a result. Silverwolf enters Planet Arcadia in cyberspace and learns of how these Joy Ascendants are created, through mimetic contamination via the Synesthesia Beacon. This makes it so that even those who have not undergone happiness surgery transform as well. During her investigation, she discovers that the Pearl she had been speaking to was an imposter, and raced to confront them. The imposter communicated through a warped emoji, and claimed that they were the mastermind backing Foolish. He declared that he would destroy Silverwolf and imprison her in the Dark Zone. Silverwolf was prepared and realized her mission in Planet Arcadia was to root the mastermind out. Back at Foolish TV, the broadcast continued to spread lies and propaganda against the IPC and Astral Express, claiming the Joy Ascendants ravaging the town were part of their schemes. The people within the tower all began to transform, and with the help of Ashvale and the others, we defeated the Joy Ascendants. But unfortunately, they continued to rise again after death, so Himiko chooses to stay behind to confront them. After climbing the tower, we encounter Blade and reunite with Don Hung, who states that Blade can be trusted with this matter. He states that Blade will be the key in saving everyone if he takes Foolish's mask. As the Joy Ascendants continue their assault, Pearl gets in touch, and assists us with interfering with the Mastermind's influence, who has begun attempting to pick the group apart one by one. Thankfully, before the corrupted emotes could kill us, Silverwolf arrives on the scene and allows us to clear the Mastermind's interference. She tells us to head to the top of the tower, and as the Trailblazer does, the Mastermind reveals himself as Asat Pramod, the Lord Ravager, who challenges Silverwolf. The group encounters a projection of Foolish in the broadcasting room, and her projection monologues about how twisted Planet Arcadia is, and how no one really cares about consequence or truth. She claims that Aha has abandoned Planet Arcadia, and that this is the source of everyone's suffering. She invites the group to the top of the tower, and after arriving, she tells us how she got to this point. Foolish explains that after the Herald of Death incident, she was met with encouragement and support from the people around her. This helped her out of her depression, and she began to feel hope once more. However, her support network was a lie, a fabrication of Seafeld TV for an elation show. All of the people that supported her were paid actors, and when she suffered a mental breakdown, a fool's mask arrived at her doorstep. That was the final nail in the coffin that was her sanity, and she vowed to destroy the Phantasmoon Games. The Trailblazer is struck with the mortal blow during the battle against Foolish, and they find themselves in the Phantasmoon courtyard with Evanescia, or rather, the entity Evanescia used to be. She explains that she is going to step in and take control of the situation, but the Trailblazer convinces her to stand down. Evanescia relents and states that Aha seems to favor the Trailblazer. and offers them 3 minutes to defeat Full Wish. The Trailblazer returns to the battlefield, using the wish power of the people and the Stellaron in tandem. We defeat Full Wish at last, but the abundance infection hasn't stopped, and the situation was spiraling out of control, and Blade stepped in to draw Shu's flesh onto himself, and Sunday provided assistance through his tuning. With their powers, alongside the assistance of Dan Heng, they managed to save the planet from the abundance plague infesting it. Yao Guang arrived to congratulate Blade, and reiterated once more her mission as an Arbiter General. After the Full Wish situation, we meet up with Evanesha, who warns us that the Lord Ravager, Asat Pramod, is on Planet Arcadia, and that we need to head deep into the world of Canvas to tell Graphia. At the same time, Pearl tells Kuchiba, who had broke into Pearl Lux Tower, what the IPC's endgame on Planet Arcadia is all about. Pearl tells her that their schemes involve the sealed-away truth buried in the Phantom Moon games, the remains of Ouroboros, the Veracity. Patch 4.3 will involve us entering the world of Canvas. We'll be coming to blows with Graphia, and Blade will be taking center stage as well. What's going to happen to him? And how does Asat Pramod fit into the equation? We'll just have to find out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Later.